Do you know how to tell the difference between ravens and crows? Ravens and crows look so similar at first glance, which is why many people tend to confuse them with one another. Today, I will discuss the differences between ravens and crows by focusing on key differences in their physical appearance, how they behave socially, and how they differ vocally. First, we're going to focus on physical appearance. According to the National Audubon Society's book, Sibley Guide to Birds, written by David Allen, ravens are bigger than crows. Ravens are approximately 24 inches in length, weigh a little over 2.5 pounds, and have a wingspan of 53 inches. Crows are approximately 17.5 inches in length, weigh about a pound, and have a wingspan around 39 inches. To put it simply, ravens tend to be the size of a large hawk, whereas crows tend to be the size of a large pigeon or dove. Next, let's focus on their tail shapes. In the National Geographic Society's book, Field Guide to Birds of North America, written by Shirley L. Scott, crows tend to have even tail feathers. I've made a little model right here out of paper to show the shape of a crow's tail feather. So the tail feathers are equal in length, giving it a distinctive fan shape. Whereas ravens do not have equal length tail feathers, and this gives them a distinctive wedge-shaped tail. As you can see, the tail feathers on the ends are a little shorter than the tail feathers in the center. So again, if you see them flying above you, if you see a fan shape, that's going to be a crow, and if you see a wedge shape, that's going to be a raven. Next, let's focus on their beaks. According to the article, How to Tell the Difference Between a Crow and a Raven, Amy Zimmern states that a raven's beak is thicker and more curved at the end, compared to a crow's beak, which is smaller and less curved. Next, let's move on and talk about how they differ socially. According to the 2017 article, Facts About Crows, by Alina Bradford, she states that crows tend to travel in groups known as murders, while ravens tend to travel alone or in pairs. Also, ravens and crows will hang out in different places. In the 2020 article titled Raven versus Crow, How to Tell Them Apart by Garth Clifford, he states that crows are often less timid than ravens, and they tend to live alongside humans and are often spotted in cities scavenging for food, whereas ravens prefer to scavenge for food in remote wooded areas away from humans. And lastly, we'll talk about how ravens sound versus how crows sound. In the 2020 article, How to Tell the Difference Between a Roe and a Craven by Amy Zimmern, she states that crows make a distinctive caw-caw sound, whereas ravens have a deep, throaty, croaky sound that has more of a baritone quality. I have a recording here that I would like to play for you. And first, we will listen to the sound of an American crow. So I'm sure you're all very familiar with that high-pitched caw-caw sound that they make. Now I'm going to play for you the sound of a common raven. As you can hear, the raven has a more throatier quality. I tend to hear these sounds more often when I'm hiking in our local mountains or I'm camping. So right there, hopefully that deep throaty sound, you'll instantly think raven, whereas that high-pitched caw-caw sound, that's going to be more equated with a crow, and you hear those more in the city. Not that crows don't also belong in the wilderness as well, where you're camping and hiking, but more often you'll hear ravens there. Next, why is it important to understand the differences between crows and ravens, and why is it important that we focus on them? Well, let's talk about the roles that crows and ravens play in our ecosystem. According to the 2019 article, Why Are Crows Important to the Ecosystem by Victor Kirprop, he states the benefit to crows and ravens is that they clear farmland and gardens of pests and insects that could damage crop or flowers or other plants. Um, Also, crows are used by health authorities as an indicator species when identifying outbreaks of West Nile virus in certain areas. Crows and ravens get sick from West Nile just like humans do. And whenever health authorities see a big die off of crows or ravens, they take those dead crows and ravens and try to determine the cause of death. And if they do find West Nile, then they're able to alert the community to be aware and put on insect repellent and those sort of things. Well, in conclusion, today I have shared with you the physical differences between crows and ravens and how ravens and crows differ socially and vocally, and the role that they play in our ecosystem. I think understanding how crows and ravens differ from each other physically, socially, and vocally can help make identification easier. And also, with practice, identifying crows and ravens will become easier as the skill set is mastered, and it can lead to making identification of other birds a little easier. Thank you for your uh, audience today. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing other videos from you as well. Goodbye.